Don't wait for momentum. Create it. Show up for yourself now. You're not lazy. You're just addicted to comfort. Motivation is a lie. Mood follows action. Always. You've been waiting for the perfect moment, the right energy, the ideal mood to start working on your goals. But here's what no one tells you. That moment doesn't exist. Do you find yourself saying, I'll start when I feel motivated, or I need to be in the right headspace first? Do you wait for inspiration to strike before taking action on important projects? Do you think successful people just naturally feel like doing hard things? You've been lied to about how motivation works. The people who achieve the most aren't the ones who feel like doing the work. They're the ones who do the work regardless of how they feel. Today, we're dismantling the myth of motivation and teaching you how to show up for yourself regardless of your mood. We're covering 5 reality checks. First, why waiting for the right time is keeping you stuck forever. Second, understanding your brain's resistance to effort and how to work with it. Third, using the 5-minute rule to break the cycle of inaction. Fourth, learning to override hesitation like a machine. And fifth, why mood follows action, not the other way around. 1. The right time is complete nonsense. Discipline means moving before you feel like it. Here's something that might sting. If you keep waiting for the right mood, the perfect energy, or the ideal circumstances, you'll die with a to-do list full of could-have beens. The right time is a myth that perfectionist procrastinators use to avoid doing difficult things. Discipline means you move before you feel like it. It means you act in spite of resistance, not in the absence of it. It means you show up especially when you don't want to, because that's when showing up matters most. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they wake up every day feeling pumped about everything they need to do? Do you think they never have bad moods, low energy, or days when they'd rather stay in bed? Of course not. The difference is they've learned to act independently of their emotional state. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the weather to be perfect before you go outside. You'll spend most of your life indoors. Successful people have learned to function in all emotional weather, sunshine, rain, storms, and everything in between. The right time is now, regardless of how you feel about it. The right mood is whatever mood you currently have. The right energy level is whatever energy you currently possess. Stop waiting for ideal conditions and start creating progress with imperfect ones. Your future self doesn't care if past you felt like working. They only care if past you actually worked. Your goals don't care about your mood. Your dreams don't care about your energy levels. Your potential doesn't care about your feelings. They all care about your actions. 2. Dopamine isn't the enemy. Your addiction to easy wins is. Let's talk about what's really happening in your brain when you can't get started. Your brain is wired to resist effort and crave quick hits of satisfaction. It's not broken. It's working exactly as designed. But it was designed for a world very different from the one you live in now. Your dopamine system evolved to reward activities that helped your ancestors survive. Finding food, avoiding predators, conserving energy for emergencies. In modern life, this system gets hijacked by easy dopamine sources like social media, junk food, and entertainment that require no effort but provide immediate gratification. When you've been training your brain to expect instant rewards, delayed gratification feels impossibly difficult. Working on long-term goals feels boring and unrewarding compared to the constant stimulation of your phone. Your brain literally rebels against activities that don't provide immediate payoff. Stop outsourcing your ambition to a brain that wants Netflix over progress. Your primitive brain wants you comfortable and safe, but your evolved brain knows that growth requires discomfort, challenge, and effort. You have to consciously choose which brain gets to drive. The solution isn't to eliminate dopamine. It's to retrain your dopamine system to find satisfaction in effort itself. When you consistently choose difficult tasks over easy distractions, you teach your brain that the feeling of accomplishment is more rewarding than the feeling of immediate gratification. Start celebrating the action, not just the outcome. Feel good about the fact that you worked out, regardless of how the workout went. Feel proud that you worked on your project, regardless of how much you accomplished. Train your brain to associate effort with reward, and effort becomes easier. 3. 5 minutes to break the cycle. Start small. Start ugly. Start anyway. When you're stuck in inaction, the gap between where you are and where you need to be feels impossibly wide. The solution isn't to leap across the gap. It's to take one small step that proves movement is possible. Use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on something for just 5 minutes. Not an hour, not until it's finished, just 5 minutes. This works because 5 minutes isn't threatening to your resistance patterns. Your brain can handle 5 minutes of discomfort. Start small, start ugly, start anyway. Don't wait for the perfect opening sentence, the ideal workout playlist, or the optimal workspace setup. Start with whatever you have, wherever you are, however you feel. Perfection is procrastination in disguise. Mel Robbins discovered this principle in her 5-second rule research. If you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Your brain is constantly talking you out of taking action. The longer you hesitate, the stronger the resistance becomes. That first step flips the switch from resistance to momentum. Once you're in motion, staying in motion becomes easier than starting from stillness. Once you've written one sentence, writing the second is natural. Once you've done 5 push-ups, doing 5 more doesn't feel impossible. The magic isn't in the 5 minutes. It's in breaking the pattern of avoiding discomfort. Most of the time, you'll work longer than 5 minutes once you start. But even if you only work for 5 minutes, you've proven to yourself that you can choose action over comfort. 4. Don't overthink. Override hesitation like a machine. Your thoughts are not facts, and your hesitations are not instructions. When your brain starts generating reasons why you shouldn't start, don't engage with those thoughts. Override them like a machine executing a program. Thought spirals are productivity poison. The more you think about whether you should do something, the more reasons your brain will generate for why you shouldn't. The more you analyze your resistance, the stronger your resistance becomes. The more you debate with your hesitation, the more convincing your hesitation sounds. Train yourself to recognize the onset of overthinking and immediately shift into action mode. When you notice yourself starting to debate whether to work out, just put on your workout clothes. When you catch yourself analyzing why you don't feel like writing, just open the document and write one sentence. Successful people aren't successful because they never feel resistance. They're successful because they've learned to act despite resistance so quickly that resistance doesn't have time to build momentum. They treat action like a reflex, not a decision. This isn't about suppressing emotions or ignoring your feelings. This is about understanding that feelings are temporary and actions create lasting results. You can feel unmotivated and still take action. You can feel tired and still show up. You can feel resistant and still move forward. The goal is to become someone who acts independently of their emotional state. Someone who shows up regardless of how they feel. Someone who keeps commitments to themselves even when those commitments feel inconvenient. 5. Mood follows action is a universal law. Move first, feel later. Here's the fundamental shift that changes everything. Waiting to feel good before doing the work is like waiting to be hydrated before drinking water. The feeling you're waiting for comes from doing the thing, not before doing the thing. Mood follows action, not the other way around. When you exercise, you feel energized. When you work on meaningful projects, you feel motivated. When you clean your space, you feel clear. When you take care of business, you feel confident. The action creates the feeling, not vice versa. Most people have this backwards. They think they need to feel motivated to work out, but working out is what creates the motivation. They think they need to feel creative to start writing, but starting to write is what activates creativity. They think they need to feel confident to take action, but taking action is what builds confidence. This is why motivation-based approaches fail. You're waiting for a feeling that only comes from doing the thing you're avoiding. You're stuck in a loop where you need motivation to act, but action is what creates motivation. Break the loop by acting first. Do the thing you don't feel like doing and watch how your mood shifts. Take the action your future self needs and notice how your present self starts to feel different. Move your body and observe how your energy changes. Start the project and see how your interest develops. This isn't positive thinking or fake it till you make it philosophy. This is understanding how human psychology actually works. Your emotions respond to your actions. Your mood responds to your choices. Your energy responds to your movement. Okay, time for some tough love. Your mood isn't the boss, your goals are. Stop letting temporary feelings sabotage permanent dreams. You think you're being authentic by honoring your moods, but you're actually being weak. You think you're being kind to yourself by waiting until you feel ready, but you're actually being cruel to your future self. You think you're being realistic about your energy levels, but you're actually being a slave to your comfort zone. Your feelings are valid, but they're not instructions. Your moods are real, but they're not permanent. Your resistance is understandable, but it's not unbreakable. You have the power to act in spite of how you feel, and that power is what separates people who achieve their goals from people who just dream about them. Stop treating your emotions like facts. Stop treating your moods like weather you can't control. Stop treating your resistance like evidence that you're not supposed to do something. Your brain will always prefer comfort over growth, ease over effort, familiar over unknown. But you're not your brain. You're the person who can observe your brain's preferences and choose differently. You're the person who can feel unmotivated and still take action. You're the person who can show up for yourself regardless of how you feel about showing up. Now here's your challenge for today. Right now, set a timer for 5 minutes. Pick the thing you've been avoiding and do it for exactly 5 minutes. Don't think about it. Don't prepare for it. Don't wait for the right mood. Just start. Let momentum carry you from there. No perfect conditions required. No ideal energy levels needed. No magical motivation necessary. Prove to yourself that you can act regardless of how you feel. Because once you prove that, everything changes. If this video reminded you that action creates motivation, not the other way around, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a community of people who show up for themselves regardless of how they feel. Share this with someone who's been waiting for the right mood to start working on their goals. Sometimes we all need a reminder that we don't need to feel ready to get started. Remember, you're not broken, you're untrained. And the skill of acting despite resistance can be developed starting with your next choice to move before you feel like it. Until next time, stop waiting for the perfect mood and start creating the perfect momentum.